I ain't even gotta do too much talking, cause I know what's gonna happen come Saturday.
Yeah. Is you ready for me? 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 Spotless. Check it. Is you ready for me?
What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you won't call me. And we are back for another. Alright, y'all, we got them new topics. Keyboard Gangsters attack Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford wants out of the fight. Wow, what is going on, y'all? What is going on? Alright, so new news coming out today regarding the viral assault of Errol Spence Jr. He is getting beat down over the internet waves. What do you call internet traffic? It's not airwaves, so he's getting beat up over the inner lines. He's being Ethernet attacked. Viral. But anyway, Errol Spence Jr. for the past few days has been trying to defend himself, and Terence Crawford and all that represent Terence Crawford, ESPN, Mike Coppinger, Max Kellerman, everyone has been trying to play cleanup from the news that was leaked last week, somewhat by Blue Blood, somewhat by some other sportscasters and sports bloggers. But they've been trying to play cleanup, and it's been an attack on Errol Spence Jr., the PBC, their dealings, and the contract for Undisputed. Basically, to me, what's going on, and I want to have a full discussion about this, but basically what's going on, I think, is that we were told Terence Crawford had agreed to some terms. Some people were reporting that he had signed the contract and that they were waiting for Errol Spence Jr. to sign the contract. Then it came out that no, the contracts are not signed. Neither side has signed, but they had to send it back to have the wording cleaned up. And we heard as well a few weeks before that Errol Spence was going ahead with or without Terence Crawford. So then you had this blitz by Terence Crawford's team to try to put out some information to get, I think, the ball rolling on trying to get the fight. Even though me personally, I think the ball has already passed Terence Crawford by, and they're just milking this wave of internet publicity until they actually announce who Errol Spence is going to fight next, and it might not be Terence Crawford. But anyway, Terence Crawford tried to play cleanup. He tried to come out with a statement and make it seem like it was Spence that was ducking him. And that statement was basically that he had already signed the contract, and that was through Blue Blood. Some people say he said he agreed. Some people say he said he signed. And then you had what happened yesterday, the day before yesterday, with ESPN, Max Kellerman, and Mike Coppinger basically coming out and saying that the PBC won't open their books to Terence Crawford because there's something in the wording of the contract, which would be true because they did say they were cleaning up wording. There was some wording in the contract to where Terence Crawford wanted transparency about what the wording meant because it had to do with back-end money that he would be receiving because he's not getting a large guarantee. Now, everybody keeps saying he's not getting a guarantee. They're getting some upfront money. Whether that upfront money is fronted to them or whether that upfront money is something that's signed into the contract is to be argued. Nobody's seen the full version of the contract. So anybody telling you that it's this, that, and the third is lying to you. But anyway, Terence Crawford was trying to get that clarified, and his issue is that he doesn't want to sign because they don't want to open up the books. Now, whose version of all of that do you believe? Do you believe the first version? Do you believe the Blue Blood version? Do you believe the ESPN version? At the end of the day, what you can say for sure is Terence Crawford don't want to sign a contract. Terence Crawford's not interested in a version of the contract because he feels like he's going to get slighted in some type of way. Do I think it's true? Do I think he's crazy? Do I think this is all a duck and a hold up? I feel like personally that he doesn't know the business of boxing in the way that he thinks he does. I think that this is an average, normal contract. He's going to get his money, and I think this is a ploy to get something else. There's something else in the contract that he wants cleaned up, and this is just the term that they're putting out to the public. But I'm sure that that's not the only term in the contract that he wants cleaned up. And by doing this, it stalls the fight out, and he can hold on for a little while longer and actually maybe get some better terms within the contract if he holds out. So for anybody telling you that it's Errol Spence, I don't know what to tell you. It's not Errol Spence. You know, they could have made this fight a long time ago and it could have been signed and over with already. But Terence Crawford's dragging this thing out. Do I feel like he should? Personally, I think he should until he gets with another promotional company because he obviously doesn't know what he's doing. But he obviously has other dealings with ESPN because they're doing his bidding they're doing his bidding on their behalf by speaking about him highly on ESPN. So, listen to this real fast and let's break this down real quick before we get out of here.
After that comes this new thing from Terence Crawford's camp. The same guy, literally, that said that this fight was done and all financial terms were agreed to, now reveals that a major financial term was not agreed to. And that is approval of expenses for related to the fight.
So it's approval of expenses, but what Max Kellerman and them said is that it was something tied to like outside venue type things, like selling t-shirts and memorabilia. From what I took from what Max Kellerman said, it had something to do with external like venue type stuff, like concessions and t-shirt. That's what I took from what Max Kellerman and them said. And he wanted to know, I guess, where that portion of the money was going and why isn't that going to him, basically. So let's listen on a little bit more and then we're going to get out of here.
And he may have said related to the pay-per-view, right? But for related to the fight. So that is a major financial term. So what does that mean? It means that the fight was not signed, was not agreed to. Now, relating that to what Stephen Espinoza says the more you talk about the deal, the harder it is to make.
And I made a video about that a few months ago. You can go back and check that. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think I made it that it's all the conversation about the fight hurting the fight's chances of being made or something like that. But, I agree with that. Because when you negotiate in public, listen, it's not their money making the fight. And people keep arguing, well, it's Errol Spence sending this to Buzz Camp. Neither one of these guys are sending anything to either one of them. It's their lawyers and their agents sending stuff back and forth. And that's usually where the problem starts, because you might have agreed to something, but your lawyer and your agent is seeing it first, and they know financial mumbo jumbo. They know averages of dollar amounts that you should be receiving. They know all of this. So as soon as they see it, they're getting butthurt about it because they want an extra boost for you because they're going to get an extra boost for them. So I think that's where the problem starts, is that Terence Crawford is not actually the one seeing all this, and his team are not positioning him correctly when they do get these terms, because they think they can argue a better term for him. And when I say his team, I'm really talking about ESPN, because I think ESPN is doing Crawford business for him in the background. Now, this is my belief. This is not nothing that's printed or I'm trying to state as fact. My belief is that ESPN is doing the negotiating behind closed doors for Terence Crawford. And when they see something that they don't like because they're not going to get a kickback from it, they're going back and telling Terence Crawford not to sign off, basically. So, you know, I think it's ridiculous at this point, and we're definitely probably not going to get the fight this year at this point. There's a slim chance we still might, and I've been saying this all along. And anybody else that comes around wanting to argue these points, you know, from now on, I'm not even going to entertain y'all or thumb you up or like your comment, heart your comment, because you're being outrageous with what you're saying. And if you're going to say something from now on, you're going to have to do it on camera. You're going to have to send me some footage or get on live with me and argue your point. Or you're not going to get no more praise on my channel. Your comment going to be all the way down at the bottom. It's your boy, Cardinal Red, or Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me. And I think, yeah, we are not here.
Know what's up? Can't hold me down. Niggas know what's up, my